Miss Bubbles here. It's Pascal from Tales of Graces. I'm going to do a video today talking about packing for conventions and what I personally do. So if you're interested in that topic, then please feel free to continue watching. If not, then I'll definitely see you in my next video, which will be a by Shonen Con convention vlog, since I should be packing right now, but instead of packing for the con, which is this weekend, I am filming this video. First off, I just want to say that this is what I personally do. There's some other great videos out there about preparing for conventions and packing for them, so you should definitely check out some other videos too. I'm just going to give you a few tips and what works for me, so if you're interested, then feel free to continue watching. Anyways, when I go to a con, I usually plan out my cosplays a little bit in advance. Sometimes I plan them like a few weeks in advance, sometimes I know like a year in advance what I want to do, or sometimes, you know, just a few days before I'm like, okay, I'm definitely going to do this cosplay. So after I decide which cosplays I'm going to do for the con, I put together a list of them, and then I list like each component of my cosplay, so the wig, and then like if it's a dress, then the dress, if it's like a shirt and pants, then I make sure that, like, you know, I'd write it down or I make a mental note of it. So what I would do is that if you're a cosplayer like me, you should definitely make a list of like each component of your cosplay. It's great if you have a journal or a notebook so you can write this down. I did that a few times, but I really like just making a mental list of everything that I need so I can just go through the costumes and pack them as I go. Obviously make sure your suitcase is completely empty, because I have the habit of coming back from a convention and then not unpacking for a while, so sometimes I'm like, oh man, I need to unpack for my previous con so I could pack for my next one. But so once you get your suitcase and you got your cosplays picked out that you want to bring with you, I would just go through each cosplay. You can either go through the cosplays like specifically, like I'm doing this character, then pack everything for that character and then move on to the next one, or you can pack all of your wigs first, then you can pack all of your shirts, all of your socks, you know, all of your accessories for that cosplay. Whatever works for you. Personally, I just pick like the accessories first and like the wigs or the specific components of the cosplay, and then I pack them. So I'm like, alright, I'm going to pack all my shirts first, and then I'm going to pack all my pants, and then I'm going to pack all of my wigs, but whatever works for you guys. Make sure that you bring normal clothes too, so you can change into them at the end of the day. It's great if you have a kigurumi. It's always great to just lounge around at the end of the day and just like a kigu or something very casual. Don't forget to pack your casual clothing, because it's not cool when you've only got your cosplay stuff and you're just like, I want to chill, but you can't because you only have your cosplay clothes. So remember to pack normal clothes too. That includes underwear and everything. This goes without saying, but just make sure that you have enough for the entire weekend. After you get all of your clothes, you want to pack your toiletries too. Sometimes I will forget to bring one or two of my toiletries. Like, I have a list now, like I need to bring my toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, you know, all of those kinds of things. I always like bringing a tweezer too, in case I want to tweeze my eyebrows when I'm at the con. I think that it is a really good idea to bring stuff like that. Going along with toiletries, it's always good to bring extra fashion tape with you, because you never know if you or a roommate will need fashion tape during the weekend. That has saved me on numerous occasions when I was at conventions, so it's always a good idea to bring some fashion tape along. And, you know, if you are rooming with some other people, it's great to have a group chat so you can tell them, okay, I'm bringing this to the room, and like, it's okay if someone else forgets to bring like toothpaste or something, because you got them covered. Because sometimes, you know, when you're packing for cons, you can forget stuff like toothpaste. Normally that isn't too much of a problem since a lot of conventions are close to Rite Aid or like CVS. You can always pick it up at the con, but I still think it's good to get it beforehand so you don't have to spend extra money. So after you've got your cosplays, your normal clothes, and your toiletries packed, it's a good idea to bring any kind of like cosplay repair supplies. Sometimes I bring along some like crazy glue or some hot glue in case you need to fix something up at the con, but you want to do it quickly, so you can bring your sewing machine if you want to. I've had friends bring their sewing machines to cons. I don't recommend it because you really want to spend your entire con sewing, but if you bring like a hand sewing kit, or, you know, just something small that'll help you patch up your cosplays if something goes bad, that's always good. Like crazy glue and hot glue have saved me numerous times, so it's always a good idea to bring them along. I also like bringing a wig brush with me, so when I get to the con I can comb through my wigs and make sure they're all good. I got my like hairspray and my hair gel too. So if my cosplay wigs need a little touch up, I can do that at the convention too. So it's always a good idea to bring that stuff with you in case you need it or if a roommate needs it. Anyways, other than that, make sure that you have all of your electronics packed for the convention too. Sometimes I will forget a charging wire, so it's always good to have friends in the room with you who have similar devices so you can borrow their wires, but it's good to have a list so you remember to bring your cell phone charger. If you do photography like me, it's good to bring your camera charger, extra batteries too. I have an external charger for my phone, so I bring that with me. I bring the charging cable for that too, so it's always a good idea to make sure that you pack your electronics and have like a little checklist for them too, because it can be really easy to forget, you know, to bring an extra battery or something, and then you're at the con and you're shooting and you're like, oh man, I forgot to bring that extra battery. But you know, as you go to more conventions, it gets easier to pack and you forget less and less things. I always like double and triple checking my luggage to make sure I have everything. Other than electronics, it's also a really good idea to bring snacks with you, like crackers or cookies. I bring applesauce with me since I take applesauce with the medicine for my Crohn's disease, so I always have like little snacks with me at cons, which is good. Sometimes I neglect to bring water, which is really bad, but a lot of conventions, they have water fountains or they like hand out water to make sure that their attendees, like me, who forgot water, don't like faint in the middle of the con, which is good. But it's always a good idea to bring your own water bottles and to bring snacks for the weekend, especially if you're going away to a convention that's like 3 or 4 days. It's a really good idea to have snacks with you because some of these cons, when you get food there, they jack up the prices so high, and you do not want to be spending $20 for a meal for like all of your meals for the entire weekend because it gets really expensive. So it's always a very good idea to bring snacks with you too. If you are rooming with other people, make sure to keep the line of communication open and just let them know like, hey, I'm bringing these snacks. If anyone wants them, you can have them. You know, is anyone else bringing any snacks? Because I've done rooms before where we have a few people and then everyone brings like a little something and then the whole room gets to have a meal together, so it's pretty cool. But definitely have normal food too. Like, don't spend the entire convention weekend just snacking on things because that is not a good idea. Just make sure that when you pack everything, they're in separate compartments too. When I pack my toiletries, I like putting them in little Ziploc plastic baggies. You know, since I wear contacts, I always make sure that I pack my color contacts separately. You know, they're in the cases, and then I put the cases in a separate plastic bag, and then I always have extra solution for my contacts because you do not want to be at a con and run out of contact solution, because that would just be horrible, because your contacts would get all dried out and you'd most likely have to throw them away. But anyways, it's always a good idea to have like separate little baggies for everything. The suitcase that I have is actually pretty big, so it has different compartments, and I put my clothes on one side, and then like I use the zipper compartments to put the accessories and, you know, my hot glue gun, which is always in a plastic bag because I get really nervous about it not being in a plastic bag because I feel like I'll accidentally ruin one of my cosplays. So I think it's always a good idea to have extra Ziploc baggies so you can put everything in there and just make it all nice and secure. Another thing that I personally like bringing to cons is earplugs, because when you go to a con like KatsuCon or Colossal Con, it's a big party con, and I don't do too much partying. I like getting up early, so I usually like bringing something that'll help me, you know, go to bed. So I have my earplugs, and I also have a face mask that I can wear. I didn't have a face mask until recently. I saw one of my friends brought it to a con. I'm like, that's a good idea, because I'm very sensitive to light. So whenever someone would turn on the light or open the door, I would just wake up. So if you're a light sleeper like me, it's a good idea to pack earplugs and, you know, like a face mask, or, you know, you can even wear your earbuds at night and listen to music or something. I've done that before too. Whatever helps you. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to go over. I always double and triple check my luggage before I am like officially done packing. I will usually go through each cosplay and make sure I have every component. If you're using a checklist, then you could check things off your list. You know, make sure you have your wig, your color contacts if you wear contacts, you know, your shirt, your shoes, your socks, everything that you'll need for that cosplay. So it's always a good idea to have a checklist. I personally just go through my luggage like a million times to make sure I have everything. I'm like, what do I need Friday? What do I need Saturday? What do I need Sunday? But yeah, if you guys have any comments or concerns or questions, feel free to post them and I will definitely get back to you. I hope you enjoyed my video about packing for conventions. Remember that if you're with roommates, to always keep the line of communication open. You know, be very open with your roommates. Let them know, you know, what you're bringing, if you have any allergies, all that kind of stuff, because they can make or break your weekend. So it's very important to make sure that everyone is honest and open about what they're bringing and all that jazz. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed my video. I will talk with you all again soon.